Imagine this. You're at the gas station. You pay with cash, get your change, and among the jingling coins in your hand is a 2007 Lincoln Memorial penny with a small d under the date. You glance at it, then toss it in your cup holder without a second thought. But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth up to $207,000? Yes, 1 cent, 1D mint mark, and possibly one life-changing discovery. Now before you roll your eyes and toss every penny you own onto the kitchen table, hold up, there's more to this than luck. There's a pattern, a hidden system most people miss. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how one ordinary coin became a millionaire maker, and how yours might be next. Let's dive in. A penny with a past. The Lincoln Memorial cent was first minted in 1959 to honor 150 years since Lincoln's birth. For decades, it's been a part of everyday American life. But in 2007, something unusual happened. The Denver Mint, known for its precise production, released a batch of Lincoln cents with slight, almost imperceptible variations. We're talking about misalignments, double dies, and an extremely rare copper planchet error. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most modern pennies after 1982 are 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. But a handful, only a few in existence, were mistakenly struck on pure copper planchets, left over from pre-1982 stock. It's a glitch in the system. A minting anomaly. And to collectors, it's pure gold. Well, copper, technically 0.1 2007 D penny with this exact copper error sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $207,000. Now here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Still think it's just pocket change? What makes a penny worth 6 figures? So what should you be looking for? The D mint mark. This confirms the coin was minted in Denver. Weight: a standard post, 1982 penny weighs 2.5 grams. A copper penny? Closer to 3.1 grams. Weigh yours. If it's heavier, you've got something special. Color and luster: copper coins tend to have a richer tone, a deeper reddish brown, especially if preserved. Errors: look for doubling in the letters or date, off-center strikes, or unusual rim shapes. Now here's the kicker. Most people own dozens, if not hundreds of 2007 D pennies, and they're completely unaware of the fortune sitting right under their nose. But not you. You're here, you're watching, and you're about to change how you see every coin in your possession. Quick joke. Ever hear someone say, "A penny for your thoughts"? Well, let's hope your thoughts are worth at least $207,000. Real stories. Real riches. Let me tell you about Martin from Colorado. He was cleaning out his garage when he stumbled upon a jar of coins. Among the dust and wrappers was a shiny 2007 D penny. He didn't think much of it, but something about the weight felt different. He threw it on a kitchen scale, 3.1 grams. Curious, he sent it in to be appraised. 2 weeks later, he had a certified copper planchet error on his hands. 4 weeks later, he sold it for $191,500 after auction fees. You see? Wealth doesn't always come with dollar signs. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary. Now here's the truth. We're living in a world where most people walk right past opportunity because it doesn't look like success. It looks like a rusty penny at the bottom of a drawer, but for the smart, the observant, the ones who check twice, opportunity isn't missed, it's claimed. The 2007 D Lincoln Memorial penny is a quiet giant in the coin-collecting world. It's rare, it's valuable, and it's still out there waiting. So what should you do? First, grab your coin jars, your piggy banks, the trays in your car, your nightstand drawers. Sort out your 2007 pennies. Check the ones with a D mint mark. Weigh them, examine them, study them. Because every minute that passes is another moment someone else could find your fortune. And if you do find one, get it appraised, protect it, and get ready to write a new chapter in your financial story. In fact, in our next video, I'll reveal 3 more modern pennies, just like this one, that are hiding in circulation and could be worth even more than $207,000. So if you want the tools, the tips, and the insider knowledge to turn everyday coins into a wealthy lifestyle, subscribe now. Because your next paycheck might be hiding inside your pocket change. What if I told you there might be a tiny copper coin sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, worth more than a brand new Porsche? You heard that right, a 2006 Lincoln Memorial penny with a small D mint mark. Face value? 1 cent. But its current market value? $206,000 and climbing. Still think pocket change is just pocket change? Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, we'll uncover why this ordinary-looking coin could be your unexpected golden ticket. And before you say, "Oh, I'm sure I don't have anything special," let me ask you, when was the last time you really checked your coins? Not just glanced, but really looked. The truth is, millions of Americans are throwing away wealth every single day, 1 penny at a time. Heck, your grandkid may have just bought candy with a fortune at the gas station. Scary, isn't it? Today, we're going deep into the story behind the 2006 Lincoln penny, the hidden markers that make it worth 6 figures, and how you can find out if your old jar of coins holds a life-changing surprise. Let's rewind. This 2006. George W. Bush is president. Gas is around $2 a gallon. And the U.S. Mint quietly releases millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Among those millions, a rare few were struck at the Denver Mint with flaws. But not just any flaws, these were high-grade errors, die breaks, and off-center strikes that collectors salivate over. And when rarity meets demand, value skyrockets. Some of the most valuable 2006 pennies have what's known as a double die reverse or DDR. That means the Lincoln Memorial on the back has a faint but clear doubling in the columns, steps, or even the word e pluribus unum. It's subtle, but to collectors, it's like discovering a diamond in sand. Others have striking errors, misaligned dies, off-center images, or plating bubbles. These weren't meant to happen, but because they did, they've become numismatic gold. Now imagine this. You walk into a coin shop with an old penny you almost gave to a cashier, and the appraiser's eyes widen. They bring out gloves, a microscope, maybe even a second opinion. They whisper a number. 6 figures. That's not fantasy. It's already happened. In fact, just last year, one 2006 Lincoln penny sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $206,000. Pristine condition, error variety, near-mint luster, the kind of coin dealers dream about. But here's the real kicker. Many of these valuable pennies weren't found by collectors. They were discovered by everyday people like you, often by accident. And in just a moment, I'll tell you exactly how to tell if your 2006 penny is worth more than your house. By the way, have you ever spent a coin just because it looked old and dirty? Yeah. You might want to dig through your couch cushions again after this. See, coins like these are treasure maps hiding in plain sight. And once you know what to look for, you'll start seeing coins very differently. You'll shift from spender to hunter, from casual to collector. It's not just about history. It's about financial freedom. Here's what to do next. First, locate any 2006 Lincoln pennies with a D mint mark, just under the year. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. Look for strange features. Doubling in the letters, distorted memorial columns, raised bubbles, or off-center images. Second, check the coin's condition. The shinier, cleaner, and less worn it is, the more it could be worth. These high-grade errors are like VIP tickets. They demand premium prices. And third, don't wait. Time is money, literally. Every year that passes, rare coins change hands, get lost, or are unknowingly spent. The coin market is red-hot right now, especially for US errors and rare mint conditions. Collectors are paying more than ever, which means your opportunity may not last long. Imagine telling your spouse, "Hey honey, remember that penny in the kitchen drawer? It just paid off our mortgage." Or worse, imagine realizing after you spent it that you gave away $200,000 for a pack of gum. Wouldn't that haunt you? So here's what I want you to do. Start searching today. Go through those drawers, jars, glove compartments. You might just be sitting on a fortune. And if you want more insider tips, expert strategies, and weekly updates on rare coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss a $1 million opportunity again. Because here, we don't just collect coins. We collect wealth, history, and freedom. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next coin you pick up could be your last day at work. Imagine this. You're digging through your old piggy bank, maybe even sorting change for laundry. And there it is. A brown, beat-up penny from 1998. You're about to toss it aside when, boom, Someone tells you that exact coin could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. One single 1998 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark could make you wealthier than you ever imagined. Now, before you scoff and say, "It's just a penny," how much could it be worth? Let me tell you this. The current market value of this rare coin is a jaw-dropping $998,000. Let that sink in. 1 cent. Nearly $1 million. Not bad for pocket change, right? Here's the scary part. That penny might have already passed through your hands. You might have spent it on gum or left it in a vending machine tray. That's why what you're about to learn could change your life. This is not just a story about a penny. It's a story about opportunity, about overlooked wealth, and about how everyday people, just like you, are unlocking fortunes from old coins lying in drawers, jars, and forgotten shoeboxes. So hang tight, because what I'm about to reveal could be the most valuable 10 minutes of your life. And hey, if you think this sounds too good to be true, well, ask yourself this. Why are collectors paying 6 figures for a penny? Stick around, and you'll find out. Let's rewind a little. The 1998 Lincoln Memorial penny looks just like every other coin minted that year. But here's the kicker: the rare version of this coin was produced without a mint mark. Usually, pennies minted in Philadelphia are also without mint marks. So you're probably wondering what's so special about this one. It's the condition, it's the errors, and it's the rarity. Now, here's where it gets exciting. The most valuable 1998 no mint mark penny was discovered in nearly perfect condition, with an ultra-rare die alignment error and doubling on Lincoln's bust. Features almost invisible to the naked eye, but worth a fortune to collectors. These pennies often get graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. If one comes back as MS68 red, mint state, brilliant uncirculated, that's when the bidding wars begin. That's how we get to numbers like $998,000. You might be asking, wait, how do I know if I have this coin? Great question. Let me walk you through it. First, check the date, 1998. Second, flip it over. Is the Lincoln Memorial crisp and centered? Third, look for signs of doubling, especially on Lincoln's eye, chin, or the word liberty. Finally, if it has no mint mark and it looks unusually sharp or flawless, you need to get that coin graded immediately. Oh, and by the way, if you're squinting at pennies right now, don't use a magnifying glass from the dollar store. Get a proper coin loupe. Your $1 million penny deserves better. Let me tell you about Jeff, a retired trucker from Oklahoma. He was clearing out his change jar and nearly gave his 1998 penny to his grandson for a school project. Then, on a whim, he posted a photo of it to a collector's forum. Long story short, that penny sold at auction for 6 figures. True story. And Jeff? He used the money to buy a ranch and finally go fishing every weekend. See how close the line between ordinary and extraordinary really is. So now you're probably thinking, what if I have this penny? What if I've had a small fortune sitting in a coffee tin this whole time? That's the urgency I want you to feel. Because coins like this aren't just rare, they're disappearing fast. Collectors are hunting them down, snapping them up, and locking them away in vaults. You have 2 choices right now. You can ignore this, toss your change back in the drawer, and keep dreaming about what ifs. Or you can take action. Check your pennies, educate yourself, and maybe, just maybe, you could be holding the key to a whole new lifestyle, because when one penny turns into $998,000, you're not just collecting coins, you're building wealth. How many other pennies are hiding in plain sight? How many fortunes have slipped through your fingers without you even knowing? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it? If this video opened your eyes, don't let the journey stop here. Subscribe to this channel right now for more hidden coin stories, insider tips, and real strategies to help you turn forgotten change into a fortune. Hit the bell so you never miss a $1 million opportunity again. This is not luck. This is knowledge. And knowledge, when acted on, is wealth. Thanks for watching. Now go check your change. Your future might just be in a penny. What if I told you that a single dusty penny in your kitchen drawer could change your life forever? No joke. One ordinary-looking 1995 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, just copper and history, has shocked the coin-collecting world. Its current market value? $995,000. Let that sink in. That's a penny turning into nearly $1 million. Now pause. Look around. Think about that jar of coins you've been ignoring. That old piggy bank in the attic. You might already be sitting on a treasure chest, completely unaware. Crazy, right? But this isn't just a story about coins. It's about how ordinary Americans, just like you, are unlocking hidden fortunes from the change they once thought was worthless. Today, we're diving deep into the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny, why it's commanding nearly $1 million, and how to tell if you have one of these life-changing coins. Stick around, because by the time this video ends, you might never look at a penny the same way again. And here's a wild question to interrupt your thoughts. If you found a $995,000 coin tomorrow, would you keep it or cash it in? The backstory of the 1995 penny. Let's rewind. The year is 1995. Bill Clinton is in the White House. DVDs are just beginning to replace VHS tapes. And the U.S. Mint releases millions of 1-cent Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most of them are worthless today. But a tiny handful, and I do mean tiny, hold a secret. A flaw. A detail so subtle that 99.9% of people will miss it. And yet, that flaw is what makes these pennies worth nearly $1 million today. What makes them special? The rarity and no-mint mark mystery. Here's where things get interesting. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark. So yes, technically, a 1995 penny with no mint mark isn't unusual at first glance. But certain 1995 no mint mark pennies were struck with a dramatic doubling error. It's called a doubled die obverse. This means the image on the front, Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, appears slightly doubled, not because you're seeing double, but because of a rare minting mistake. This error makes the coin incredibly valuable. But here's the kicker, most people toss these in a jar, never realizing what they hold. Imagine that for a second. A fortune hiding in plain sight. That's both exciting and terrifying. And if you're thinking, well, I probably don't have one. Maybe you do. The difference is millimeters. The opportunity is massive. The $995,000 coin sale. Let's talk money. Point 1. Verified specimen of this rare 1995 double die, no mint mark penny recently stunned the collector's market when it fetched $995,000, not $9.95, not $995, almost $1 million. Why? Because serious collectors, museums, and investors are willing to pay top dollar for coins with rarity, historical significance, and flawless preservation. It's not just a penny. It's an asset. How to check your pennies now? You're probably itching to check every penny you've ever touched. Grab a magnifying glass and examine the word Liberty and the phrase In God We Trust on the front. If you notice a crisp doubling of the letters, not blur, not damage, but actual doubled impressions, you might be holding one of the rarest Lincoln pennies in existence. Still unsure? Get it authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm the error and even increase its market value. Because a verified coin is a valuable coin. Transitioning from coin to cash now, ask yourself, what would you do with nearly $1 million? Pay off your mortgage? Retire early? Start a business? Travel the world? This is not fantasy. This is found wealth, passive fortune, a gift hiding in your own home. And you don't need to be a seasoned collector to take advantage of it. You just need to know what to look for. Final cliffhanger and call to action now. Imagine this. You find a 1995 penny with the double die error. You authenticate it. You list it. You sell it. And boom, your life changes. And here's the twist. The 1995 isn't the only year that hides $1 million pennies. There are others. Some even more valuable. So if you're serious about turning forgotten coins into serious cash, you need to know what to hunt, how to find it, and when to sell. And we've got all that covered right here. So subscribe now. Turn on notifications, because your journey to a wealthier lifestyle starts with a single coin. And your next penny might just be your first fortune. Imagine reaching into your drawer, pulling out a dusty jar of pennies, and discovering one that's worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, worth up to $994,000. It's not a typo, and it's not a myth. This is a true story of a 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial cent that changed someone's life, and could very well change yours. But here's the kicker. Most people who own one of these valuable coins don't even know it. They spend it on coffee or drop it into a vending machine. Painful, isn't it? This video isn't just about a coin. It's about recognizing life-changing opportunities hiding in plain sight. You may be sitting on a small fortune without realizing it. So, if you've ever dreamed of quitting your 9 to 5, paying off debt, or giving your family the life they deserve, keep watching. Because today we're unlocking the mystery of the 1994 no-mint mark penny. And yes, by the end, you'll know exactly how to spot one, why it's worth so much, and how to sell it for top dollar. Now, quick question before we dive deeper. When was the last time you checked your coin jar? Might be a good time to give it another look. Let's rewind to 1994. Bill Clinton was in office. Gas was about $1.11 a gallon, and Forrest Gump was teaching us that life is like a box of chocolates. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was busy striking Lincoln Memorial cents like every other year. But here's where the story gets interesting. Among the billions of 1994 pennies produced, a rare batch from the Philadelphia Mint came out without any mint mark. A subtle difference that would make all the difference in the world. So what's the big deal with a missing mint mark? Well, normally, coins struck in Philadelphia have no mark. But some 1994 no-mint mark coins were printed with an unusual composition error, struck on bronze planchets that should have been retired decades earlier. In short, they were never supposed to exist. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Only a handful of these high-grade, error-rich 1994 no-mint mark pennies are confirmed. One pristine example sold for just under $994,000 at auction. And it's believed that several others are still floating around in private hands or coin jars, possibly even yours. So, how do you know if your 1994 penny is the jackpot? No mint mark under the date, sharp strike details on Lincoln's coat, and hair a reddish bronze tone. Not the dull zinc look. Weigh it. If it's closer to 3.1 grams instead of 2.5, you're likely holding an old-school bronze error. And lastly, look for proof-like quality, especially if it looks untouched or unusually clean. Now, don't worry. We'll break all this down with visuals on screen. But the point is, this isn't fantasy. It's a fact. These pennies are real, and they are worth real money. If you had $1 million penny, would you sell it or frame it on the wall? Because believe it or not, some collectors would rather keep it than cash in. That's how rare these are. So what should you do if you find one? First, do not clean it. Never polish or wipe it. That could kill its value instantly. Second, get it professionally graded. PCGS or NGC are the top-tier certification authorities in the U.S. Their stamp of authenticity can mean the difference between $5 and $500,000. Third, if you're ready to sell, work with a trusted auction house or a top-tier coin dealer. With something this rare, you'll want a specialist to guide you. But more importantly, remember, this opportunity rarely knocks twice. Most people scroll past videos like this and forget about it 5 minutes later. But those who take action, who check their change, look through their drawers, and get their coins evaluated, they're the ones who end up on the front page of financial success stories. Point: one penny. One moment. One decision. That's all it takes. And if you're thinking, this sounds too good to be true, let me remind you, some of the rarest coins in the world started in everyday pockets. People find treasure not because they're lucky, but because they look. So now, I ask you, will you be the next millionaire from a forgotten penny? Or will you let it slip through your fingers and into the hands of someone else who took the time to check? Don't let fear or doubt stop you. Subscribe now for more tips on rare coins, how to sell them, and how to turn forgotten cents into a wealthy lifestyle. Your jar of pennies might be holding your $1 million future. To go check. We'll be here when you're ready. What if I told you one little penny, just one, could be your $1 million ticket? This isn't a fantasy. This is the true story of a 1993 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, currently valued at up to $993,000. Yes, a single cent, worth almost $1 million. You might be thinking, how is that even possible? A 1993 penny? I've thrown thousands of those into jars, glove compartments, and donation boxes. But that's exactly why you should keep watching, because in the next few minutes you're going to learn how to spot this rare coin, why it's so valuable, and what could happen if you accidentally spend it instead of selling it. And trust me, that mistake has happened before. Let's get into it. Let's rewind for a second. It's 1993. Bill Clinton is president. Jurassic Park just hit theaters. The internet is still dialing up. And the U.S. Mint? Still stamping out billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most of them? Ordinary. Common. Worth exactly 1 cent, but here's where the story changes. Out of those billions, a small handful slipped through the cracks. Pennies without any mint mark. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. But this time, something was off. Some of these no-mint mark pennies were struck with rare die errors, slight planchet imperfections, or unusual copper red tones that collectors lose sleep over. What happened? Maybe a misaligned die. Maybe a minting supervisor missed a tiny flaw. Maybe fate just played its hand. Whatever the reason, a few of these coins came out, not like the others. And collectors noticed. Fast. Now here's the fun part. One of these 1993 no-mint mark pennies was sold privately for nearly $1 million. That wasn't just a fluke, it was a direct result of condition, error type, rarity, and yes, a lot of luck. How can you tell if you have one? First, grab a magnifying glass. Look at the lettering, any doubling on Liberty or the date. Flip the coin. Is the Lincoln Memorial centered perfectly, or does something feel off? And check the color. A deep, reddish-brown copper tone from 1993? That could mean something huge. Still not sure? Ask yourself, when's the last time you really looked at your pennies? Because one viewer did and ended up retiring early. But let's pause for a second. Imagine this, you're cleaning out an old dresser, find a dusty penny, toss it on the kitchen counter, and it's worth more than your house. What would you even do first? Quit your job? Pay off debt? Move to the beach? Hold that thought, we're not done yet. Here's the real kicker. These pennies don't look flashy.
No diamonds. No gold.
No signs that scream, I'm worth almost $1 million. And that's why they're so dangerous and so exciting. Because people throw them away, spend them at gas stations, or drop them in tip jars. Every single day. While a buyer out there is willing to pay life-changing money for one in pristine condition, it's like sitting on buried treasure, without even knowing it. Let me ask you something. How many old jars of coins do you have lying around? 5? 10? Maybe a whole drawer full. That's not clutter. That's potential. And here's your moment. Your chance to take action. Because the difference between someone who finds that $1 million penny and someone who misses it is one simple thing. Awareness. Start looking. Right now. Go through your pennies, especially those from 1993 with no mint mark. If it looks off, feels odd, or shines just a little differently, set it aside. Research it. Get it appraised. Don't make the $1 million mistake of tossing it away. And if you want to keep learning which coins can change your life, hit that subscribe button. This channel is here to guide you, to turn pocket change into powerful wealth. Because that next rare penny, it could be in your hands right now. Don't wait until it's too late. Subscribe, check your change, and let's chase that fortune one coin at a time. Want more coins worth crazy money? Watch the next video popping up now. It might just lead you to your next treasure. And remember, your millionaire moment could be hiding in plain sight. Don't let it pass you by. What if I told you that a single forgotten penny in your kitchen drawer could be worth close to $1 million? Yes, 1 cent specifically, a 1992 Lincoln penny with a tiny little D mint mark. Right now, it's shaking up the entire coin collector community. One of these recently sold for a jaw-dropping $992,000, almost $1 million for a coin you might have handed to a vending machine without thinking twice. Now imagine this. While others scroll aimlessly through social media, you're about to discover that one of the rarest coins in American history could be sitting inside your pocket change. Too good to be true? Stay with me. You're about to uncover how this humble copper beauty from 1992 transformed into a golden ticket to financial freedom. And hey, if you're thinking, there's no way I have a rare penny, just remember, so did the last guy, until he sold it for more than most people make in a decade. Let's rewind the clock. This 1992, the year Bill Clinton was elected president, the Cold War officially ended, and somewhere deep in the Denver Mint, an incredibly rare mistake was made. That mistake? A small number of pennies were struck using an outdated reverse die, the close AM design, instead of the updated wide AM that was supposed to be used for circulation coins after 1992. Now here's the twist. This error wasn't caught for years. In fact, these close AM 1992D pennies went undetected until coin experts stumbled upon them decades later, quietly hiding in plain sight among billions of ordinary coins. Out of over 4 billion pennies minted that year, only a tiny handful were misprinted like this. We're talking maybe a dozen known examples. On the planet. That's not rare. That's ultra scarce. And collectors? They're not just paying attention. They're paying big. Imagine a coin that cost you 1 cent, being hunted down like buried treasure, each one worth enough to buy you a luxury car, or even pay off your house. But wait, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one? Good question. And it's one that could change your life. Here's where things get exciting. To identify the ultra-rare 1992 D-close-am penny. You don't need a lab. You just need sharp eyes. And maybe a magnifying glass if you're over 40. Don't worry, we're all in the same boat there. Flip the penny over and look at the word America. Specifically, check the space between the letters A and M. If you see a wide space, you've got a regular penny. Still worth a cent. Maybe a sandwich if inflation keeps going. But if the A and M are so close they're practically touching, that's the golden signal. That's the close AM you're looking for. Now combine that with a small D mint mark under the date, and congratulations. You've just stepped into the rarefied world of million-dollar coins. Point one collector did exactly that. Just sorting through their coin jar one afternoon. No expert knowledge, no special equipment. Just curiosity and a sharp eye. Fast forward a few weeks, and that penny fetched nearly $1 million at auction. Moral of the story? The treasure isn't buried. It's jingling in your junk drawer. But here's the kicker. If you have one and don't act, someone else will. Let's get real. The world is changing fast. Prices are rising, retirement isn't getting any easier, and most of us are looking for ways to build a future that isn't chained to a 9-to-5. What if I told you that collecting, or even just checking, your old coins could be the simplest path to wealth you've never considered? People are literally finding life-changing value in pocket change. And it's not just this one penny. The 1992 D-close-am is just one of dozens of hidden gems that could be sitting unnoticed in your home right now. But here's the catch. The window to cash in on these is shrinking. Collectors are aggressively hunting them. Once they're all found and hoarded, prices will only go up, and your chance of finding one, well, let's just say it won't be easier next year. So here's your mission. Go through your change jars. Dig into those old drawers. Ask your relatives if they have a stash of coins gathering dust. You're not just looking for pennies. You're looking for potential freedom. Freedom from debt. Freedom to travel. Freedom to retire early. All because you took 10 minutes to look at what most people overlook. Now before you go, hit that subscribe button. Because next week, we're diving into another penny from 1983 that could fetch over $200,000. You don't want to miss it. And who knows, the next coin we talk about might be sitting in your palm right now. Don't ignore what could be the most valuable second of your day. Imagine digging through your old change jar and pulling out a penny. It's dull, coppery, and looks just like every other coin. But what if I told you that little coin could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, 1 cent. One coin. Nearly $1 million. You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And the craziest part? Most people throw these pennies away, never realizing what they had in their hands. Today, we're talking about the rare and insanely valuable 1991 Lincoln Memorial penny with the D mint mark. A coin that could transform your pocket change into a six-figure payday. Current market value? $991,000. You heard that right. So before you toss out that jar of change or hand your pennies to the cashier, stick with me. Because this isn't just about a coin. This is about hidden wealth, untold stories, and a chance to change your life. One penny at a time. Let's unlock the secrets of a coin most Americans overlook. And hey, quick question to reset your brain. When's the last time you looked at a penny like it owed you money? Spoiler alert, it just might. The story of the 1991 D. Lincoln penny starts in Denver, Colorado, home of the Denver Mint. Over 4.2 billion of these pennies were produced. So why would anyone pay a fortune for one? Because just a handful of them weren't made like the others. See, most coins come out of the mint uniform and perfect. But once in a while, an error slips through, an off-metal strike, a double die, a weak strike, or a rare planchet mix-up. And when that happens, you get a numismatic jackpot. In 1991, several Lincoln Memorial pennies from the Denver Mint were struck on experimental or leftover planchets, meaning they weren't the standard copper-plated zinc. Some showed unusual metal tones. Others had ghost-like double images on Lincoln's bust. A few even had soft, misaligned features or ghosted mint marks. These rare errors turn a regular coin into a treasure. One such coin, flawless, rare, and verified, was recently appraised at a jaw-dropping $991,000. Let that sink in. Imagine the fear someone felt after realizing they spent that exact coin at a gas station for a stick of gum. Now imagine the excitement of the person who found it in a handful of change. So how do you know if you have the $1,000,000 penny? 1. Check the mint mark. It should have a small, clean D under the date.
No doubling. No smoothing.
Just crisp detail. Point 2. Look for doubling on Lincoln's face. Use a magnifier. If Lincoln looks like he had a long night, double eyes, mouth, or jacket lines, that's a red flag of value. Point 3. Inspect the rim. A weak strike, partial edging, or uneven rim could point to a minting error. Point 4. Feel the weight. If you've got a sensitive scale, weigh it. Standard weight should be 2.5 grams. Anything significantly different, get it appraised immediately. Point 5. And lastly, trust your instincts. If the coin just looks off, color, luster, even sound when dropped, it could be one of the rare few. Now here's a curveball to keep you on your toes. One of these pennies was found in a kid's school lunch money pile. How's that for a plot twist? Makes you want to check every penny, doesn't it? You might think rare coins are for collectors with velvet gloves and display cases. But the truth, the next fortune could be hiding in your glove compartment. The 1991 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny is more than currency. It's a symbol, a reminder that sometimes life-changing opportunities are sitting in plain sight, just waiting for someone to look a little closer. So whether you're a collector, a dreamer, or someone just hoping to turn old coins into new beginnings, don't underestimate that copper coin in your drawer. Now, here's the real kicker. Millions of people will watch videos like this and do absolutely nothing. They'll nod, maybe glance at their change bowl, and move on. But a few of you, you'll go check. You'll dig through boxes. You'll pull out that magnifier. And you'll find something. So what's it going to be? Will you be the one who throws away $1,000,000 penny? Or the one who turns it into a new lifestyle? If you're serious about finding these hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing the most valuable coin tips, identification tricks, and selling strategies that have already helped thousands unlock real wealth from their coin collections. Because this isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a strategy, a lifestyle, a chance to live richly, one coin at a time. What if the answer to your financial freedom is hiding in your junk drawer? Yes, I'm dead serious. Imagine pulling out a dusty old penny, one you've ignored for years, and finding out it's worth $988,000. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin. From 1988 NO mint mark. No, this isn't a fairy tale. It's real. And right now, somewhere in America, someone is about to cash in on one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln pennies ever made. If you've got a box of old coins, you'll want to watch this video until the very last second, because I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for, why this specific coin is worth nearly $1,000,000, and how you can turn your forgotten change into a high-net-worth lifestyle. And just to keep things exciting, I'll throw in a coin mistake so rare it almost sent a man to tears of joy. You might want to grab that coin jar right now. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1988. The average American is listening to Bon Jovi, Ronald Reagan is president, and no one's thinking twice about the pocket change rattling in their jeans. But something strange happened that year. A small number of 1988 Lincoln Memorial pennies were released without a mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a blank space beneath the date. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. But what lies beneath the surface is an extremely rare printing anomaly that has turned these coins into literal gold mines for collectors and investors. Here's the kicker. The U.S. Mint didn't officially produce any no-mint mark pennies from Philadelphia that year for general circulation. So how did these escape? That mystery still puzzles experts, but one thing is crystal clear. They're worth a fortune. One of these coins, verified in pristine condition, recently made waves at auction for a jaw-dropping $988,000. And no, this isn't a mistake, a rumor, or a wild guess. This is happening. But don't worry, we're only just getting started. Because in the next segment, I'm going to show you how to spot one of these in your own home. And trust me, the details matter. Miss one, and you could toss away nearly $1,000,000. So how do you know if you've struck copper-coated gold? First things first, Look for a 1988 penny. Now turn it over. Is Lincoln looking smug as ever? Good. Now focus just below the date. See a tiny D or S? You can go ahead and sigh. But if there's nothing there, not even a faint impression, you might want to sit down. Here's where it gets really serious. Condition is everything. Your coin should have no visible wear on Lincoln's face or the columns of the memorial building. Coins graded in mint state, MS65 or higher, are where the real money kicks in. Another tip? Check the FG initials under the right side of the memorial. On some of these error coins, the initials are either misaligned or partially missing. That's the cherry on top for serious collectors. Quick humor break. If your spouse ever yelled at you for hoarding change, this is your moment. Turn to them and say, "You see, this penny just paid off the mortgage. Back to business." There are also known die varieties tied to these 1988 no-mint mark cents, such as reversed initials or slight double dies. If you see one of those, you're no longer holding a penny. You're holding a portal to wealth. So let's say you find it. That little 1988 copper coin with no mint mark and near perfect condition. Now what? First, do not try to clean it. That can destroy its value faster than you can say retirement plan. Second, get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Professional grading not only verifies authenticity but also boosts buyer confidence, increasing your potential payout. Once graded, the coin can go to auction or be sold privately through a rare coin dealer. There are passionate collectors right now, many overseas, waiting for a verified 1988 no-mint Lincoln penny to hit the market. Some are even placing bounties for first dibs. And here's the cliffhanger that might just haunt you tonight. There are still dozens, maybe hundreds, of these rare coins sitting in jars, drawers, and old coffee cans across America. Some are in homes just like yours. Will one of them be yours? Will you be the next person to trade a penny for a penthouse? Or will you toss it away, never knowing what it could have meant for your future? If this video made your heart skip a beat, it's for good reason. The world of rare coins isn't just about collecting. It's about unlocking wealth hidden in plain sight. So, here's your next move. Subscribe to this channel right now for more insider tips on coins that could change your life. Because every week, we uncover another hidden treasure, and the next one might be in your pocket. Hit the like button, share this video with a friend who always keeps spare change, and remember, sometimes all it takes to flip your fortune is one old penny. Don't miss the next discovery. We'll see you in the next video. What if I told you there's a tiny coin hiding in your home right now that could be worth more than your car, your savings, even your house? I'm talking about the unassuming 1984 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark, just copper and history. A coin most people ignore, toss in jars, lose in couch cushions. But one of these exact pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $984,000. Not a joke. Not an exaggeration. So before you throw out that jar of change or hand it to your grandkids, you might want to sit tight. Because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how one ordinary-looking penny became a millionaire maker, and why yours could be next. And don't blink. You might miss the detail that makes all the difference. Have you ever wondered how something so small could change your entire life? Let's rewind to 1984. Reagan was president. The Apple Macintosh was just released. And somewhere in Philadelphia, a rare batch of pennies rolled off the press with a powerful imperfection. These pennies had no mint mark, which isn't always unusual. But in this case, it's a signal, because some of these no mint mark coins also featured a dramatic doubling on Lincoln's ear and other parts of his portrait. It's called a double die error. Sounds boring. It's not. It's the coin world's version of a golden ticket. Collectors and dealers drool over these kinds of flaws. Why? Because the US Mint rarely makes mistakes. And when they do, those mistakes become legendary. Imagine if every typo in a best-selling novel added zeros to its price tag. Suddenly, that forgotten paperback in your attic is worth more than your car. These 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies are exactly that. A printing error frozen in copper. And if yours is in high-grade condition, you're not just looking at a lucky penny. You're looking at a potential six-figure payday. Now here's the kicker. Only a few of these error pennies exist in near-perfect condition. That's why one sold for $984,000. Just one. And the craziest part? People are still finding them in old collections, family jars, inherited coin boxes. Let me ask you something. Do you have a penny jar that hasn't been touched in years? Yeah, you might want to dust that off. Because coming up, I'll reveal the exact signs to look for that separate, irregular 1984 penny from the one that could retire you early. Alright, let's get practical. You're staring at a 1984 penny. No mint mark. Now what? First, flip it and examine Lincoln's ear. If you see what looks like a second earlobe, almost like a blurry shadow, it might be a double die. You'll also want to check for doubling on the eye and jawline. Next, condition is everything. If your coin has sharp edges, little to no scratches, and looks like it just left the mint, jackpot potential. Now here's where it gets real. Coins with this error in MS67 red condition, that's coin speak for mint state and flawless reddish copper tone, can bring in values pushing $1 million. Let me ask you a simple question. If someone walked up to you right now and offered you $1 million for a penny, would you even believe them? That's the level of disbelief collectors felt when these coins started breaking records. And here's the twist. These coins aren't being made anymore. Every year, more are lost, damaged, or thrown away by people who simply don't know what they have. That's why now is the time to act. The window is closing. The supply is shrinking. The demand? Higher than ever. You don't have to be a numismatist. You don't need a magnifying glass and gloves. You just need curiosity. And maybe a penny jar from 1984. Because while other people chase get-rich-quick schemes, you're sitting on actual history, tangible wealth, the kind of overlooked fortune that the wealthy know how to spot, and most people never will. So, what's in your pocket right now? That old drawer in your kitchen. The box your grandfather left you. The coin you've been ignoring for years. Could it be your ticket to $1 million lifestyle? There's only one way to find out. Take a closer look. Get it evaluated. And don't wait. Because the next 1984 penny to make headlines might just be yours. If you want more real stories about real coins changing real lives, subscribe now. Because your next big break might not come from Wall Street, it might come from a penny. What if I told you a single penny, yes, 1 cent, could be your golden ticket to nearly $1 million? Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, brushing past faded copper coins, and unknowingly holding a 1982 D mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin now valued at an astonishing $982,000. That sounds impossible. It's not. And if you're over 30, living in the US, and you've kept old change lying around, you might be just one coin away from a completely different life. Stay with me, because this isn't just about a penny. This is about discovering wealth hidden in plain sight. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to tell if your 1982 penny is the one that could change everything. But first, let's go back in time. The year was 1982. Reagan was president. Gas was under $1. And something unusual happened at the US Mint. That year, due to rising copper prices, the mint switched from making pennies out of solid copper to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. But in the midst of that transition, a few error coins slipped through. Some 1982 D Lincoln cents were accidentally struck using the wrong die, pairing a copper planchet with a small date design. This hybrid error created one of the rarest coins in American history. Today, only a handful have ever been authenticated. One of these error coins sold for nearly $1 million at auction. And here's the kicker. They're still out there. In drawers. In jars. Forgotten. You might be thinking, okay, but how can I tell if my penny is that penny? Let's break it down. Now here's where it gets interesting. There are 7 different variations of the 1982 penny. Yep, 7.1982 was like the US Mint's trial and error year. Some pennies were made of copper, others zinc. Some had large dates, others small. And some had D mint marks. Others didn't. So what are you looking for? A 1982 D mint mark small date copper composition. That specific combination is so rare. Collectors lose their minds over it. Here's a trick. Weigh your coin. A copper penny will weigh around 3.11 grams. Zinc? Just 2.5 grams. Got a small date design and the weight's around 3.1? You might be holding a 6-figure fortune. And no, a kitchen scale won't cut it. You need a jeweler's scale. They're cheap online. Think of it as a $10 investment with a possible $982,000 return. That's a better ROI than Wall Street. Also, if your dog's been eating pennies, you might want to check the poop. Hey, stranger things have happened. Here's the real question. How long will these coins stay hidden? Once they're all found, the mystery is over. The opportunity is gone. So the time to act is now. Because every day you wait, someone else finds their $1,000,000 penny. Start searching. Go through your old jars. Ask your grandparents. Dig into that forgotten coin album in the attic. You're not just looking for loose change, you're looking for life-changing wealth. And if you're thinking, but I've probably already spent mine, remember, the person who found one last year didn't even know it was special until a local dealer pointed it out. And speaking of which, when you do find something that looks promising, don't go running to just anyone. Work with certified grading services. Seek reputable coin dealers. Protect your coin like it's a piece of buried treasure. Because it is. But here's the final twist. The 1982 small date copper penny isn't the only coin worth a fortune. There are dozens of others, sitting silently in wallets and piggy banks, waiting to be discovered. What if your next coin is worth even more? Subscribe now, because in our next video, we're revealing the rare nickel that's secretly worth over $1.2 million. And 9 out of 10 people throw it away without ever knowing you've already taken the first step. Now open that drawer. Check that jar. Because wealth isn't always earned. Sometimes it's just waiting to be found. Imagine this. You're going through an old jar of coins, dusty, forgotten, sitting in your garage for decades. You hear that soft metallic clink, and you pull out just a penny. A 1966 Lincoln Memorial cent. No mint mark. You're about to toss it back in, until you find out it could be worth up to $966,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a single penny. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's real. And someone just like you cashed in big time. Now, here's the scary part. Most people never find out they had a fortune sitting in their junk drawer. Until it's too late. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to tell if your 1966 penny is one of those rare coins that could flip your entire financial story. So grab your coffee, or hey, go grab that coin jar, because this could change everything. And don't blink, because even a tiny detail could be worth hundreds of thousands. Let's start with the basics. But I promise, nothing about this coin is basic. The 1966 Lincoln penny was struck without a mint mark. Why? Because during the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint was in panic mode. There was a national coin shortage, and to combat coin hoarding, they suspended the use of mint marks for several years, 1965 through 1967. So, technically, all 1966 pennies should look the same. But here's the twist. They don't. That's where the $1 million mystery comes in. A small number of these 1966 pennies were struck with errors. Errors so rare and distinct, collectors are willing to pay life-changing money to get their hands on them. The double die obverse, you might see Abraham Lincoln's profile looking slightly blurry. But it's not your eyes, it's a double die strike. That slight doubling in the letters Liberty or In God We Trust. Jackpot. Off-center strikes if the design looks off balance. Like Lincoln's head is drifting to the side. That's an off-center error. The more dramatic, the more valuable. A 60% off-center strike could fetch over $10,000 alone. Struck on the wrong planchet, here's where it gets spicy. Some 1966 pennies were mistakenly struck on dime or foreign coin blanks. These rare planchet errors can go for hundreds of thousands at auction. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, that sounds cool. But what if mine just looks normal? Well, here's the thing. Many of these errors are subtle. So subtle, they've gone unnoticed for years. The person who sold theirs for $966,000, they thought it was ordinary, until an expert saw it under magnification. And if you're wondering, do I need special tools? Not at first. All you need is good lighting, a magnifying glass, and curiosity. That alone could unlock the first step to 6 or even 7 figures. Let's pause here. Think of this. How many 1966 pennies have you handled in your life? Dozens? Hundreds? And how many did you actually look at? Yeah, that one stings. By the way, if you're someone who just tossed a penny into a tip jar earlier today, you might want to go back and ask for it back. Politely, of course. Okay, focus, because now comes the part everyone misses. The condition factor, even if your penny has an error, condition is everything. Coins graded MS65 or higher, those with brilliant uncirculated shine, skyrocket in value. So don't clean it. Don't polish it. Just store it safely and have it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS and NGC can certify your coin and instantly add credibility and value to it. But here's what separates a $1 coin from a $966,000 coin. There's one microscopic detail that changes everything. I'll get to that in just a moment. That single detail? It's the die variety. Some of the most valuable 1966 pennies were struck with early dies that developed fine cracks or unique die marks. Tiny flaws that make your coin one of a kind. Collectors chase these like gold. There's even one variety known as the floating roof, where the roof of the Lincoln Memorial appears detached due to die erosion. It's subtle. It's weird. It's highly collectible. Coins with that feature have been valued at over $80,000, and that's just for starters. Now combine a rare error, pristine condition, and die variety, and you've got the perfect storm. That's how you go from pocket change to nearly $1 million. Still think it's just a penny? Remember, wealth doesn't always come in big packages. Sometimes it shows up in a copper coin you forgot about 30 years ago. And the best part? You don't need to be a numismatist to find it. You just need to start looking. Hit that subscribe button for more real tips on turning coins into cash. We're uncovering valuable US coins every week, and your next million might just be sitting in your coin jar. Drop a comment if you found a 1966 penny recently. And if you're not sure what to look for, don't worry. I'll be breaking down rare coins in simple terms every week. Share this with a friend who always picks up pennies off the ground. They might just be richer than they think. What if I told you there's a single penny out there that could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your retirement savings? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the thing. A 1964 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny, something most people would ignore in their change jar, recently made headlines with a jaw-dropping value of $964,000. Yes, nearly $1 million. For 1 cent, let that sink in. 1 cent coin. Now, before you rush to your kitchen drawer or grandma's coffee can, you need to know exactly what to look for. And I'm going to tell you, but not just yet. Because first, we need to talk about why this humble penny became a millionaire in disguise. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's rewind to 1964. The Beatles were storming America, civil rights were changing history, and the Denver Mint was pumping out billions of pennies. And among these were the Lincoln Memorial pennies, struck in copper, each weighing 3.11 grams. Most of them? Ordinary. Worth, well, a cent, but just like in life, a few special ones slipped through the cracks. And that's where the gold lies. You see, the rare 1964 D Lincoln penny that commands this insane value wasn't just minted, it was misprinted. Some of these pennies came with double dies. Others had a minting error so subtle, most people miss it unless they're looking under a magnifying glass. Ever heard of strong doubling on the date or floating roof above the Lincoln Memorial? Or better yet, pennies struck on silver planchets instead of copper? Yes, it happened. Suddenly, that little brown coin turns into a six-figure superstar. But wait, what if I told you the condition of the coin matters even more? Let me put it this way. A dirty, scratched-up penny is like a classic Mustang left out in a rainstorm. It's got the bones, but not the beauty. Collectors are hunting for coins in pristine condition, what they call mint state or MS67 and above. Now you might be thinking, okay, I get it, but how do I know if my penny is the penny? That's the million-dollar question. Literally. In just a moment, I'll walk you through exactly what to look for, and the one test that could mean the difference between a pocketful of change and early retirement. Alright, you've waited. Here it is. If you own a 1964 D penny, grab it now. The D Mint mark. It should be clearly defined below the date. Smudged or faint. It's not the one dot check for doubling. Look closely at the date 1964 and the word Liberty. If the letters look like they've been typed twice, you might be staring at a double die variety. Condition. Flip that coin under a bright light. Are there scratches, tarnish, or does it shine like it just left the mint? Wait, a rare few were struck on silver planchets. Use a jewelry scale. If it weighs less than 3 grams, stop everything. That coin could be worth nearly $1 million. And here's the kicker. Even if it's not silver, even if it's just copper, an MS-68 grade 1964 D penny recently sold for over $96,000. And another? Valued at over $964,000 because of a rare die error and near-perfect condition. Let that fear of missing out settle in, because every day these coins are changing hands for peanuts. By people who don't know what they've got. Here's a fun question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? We ignore them, toss them into jars, sweep them off counters. And yet, one of those forgotten coins could be your ticket to freedom. Debt-free living. A second home. That dream you shelved years ago. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your drawers. Open your old piggy banks. Call your grandma. This isn't just about finding a coin. It's about finding your opportunity. Because people just like you are selling rare pennies for thousands, sometimes millions. And the difference between them and everyone else? Knowledge. You now know what to look for. So use it. And if you found this video helpful, inspiring, or just plain surprising, subscribe, because next time we're uncovering the rare nickel that just sold for $500,000. And yes, it might be in your car's cup holder. Imagine walking past an old shoebox buried in your garage. You brush off the dust, open the lid, and nestled among old photographs and receipts is a single penny. But not just any penny, a 1960 Lincoln Memorial cent with a D mint mark. Now take a deep breath, because this tiny copper coin could be worth up to $960,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for 1 cent sounds crazy, right? But before you toss your old pennies into the nearest coin jar, you need to hear the full story. Because this isn't just about luck. This is about recognizing life-changing opportunity hiding in plain sight. Most people ignore their spare change. You're about to become the kind of person who spots gold where others see copper. So lean in. Because what you learn in the next 10 minutes could put you on the fast track to a wealthier lifestyle. Now let's rewind time to 1960 and uncover why this humble penny is flipping the coin world upside down. A coin born in a transitional era. The year 1960 wasn't just another page in history. It was a pivot point. The U.S. Mint had recently made changes to the Lincoln Cents design, shifting the landscape for collectors forever. Two major versions were minted: large date and small date. A seemingly minor difference that now plays a major role in value. Add the D mint mark from the Denver Mint, and suddenly you're holding a potential jackpot in your palm. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny before spending it? Exactly. That's the difference between average and aware. What makes the 1960 D penny so valuable? So what's the secret behind its $1 million value? Rarity, condition, and errors. Specifically, the rarest of them all, the 1960 D small date penny struck on a misaligned or doubled die, in pristine red condition. When these rare versions show up at auctions in MS-66 red or higher, collectors go to war with their wallets. One such coin shocked the auction world by selling $4,960,000. It wasn't just a fluke. It was a calculated investment by someone who knew what to look for. You might be wondering, how can you tell if your penny is the jackpot version? Here's the secret sauce. Look closely at the date. On the small date, the 9 is level with the 1, and the 0 is oval-shaped and slightly higher. Combine that with the D mint mark and sharp, uncirculated red luster, and you may be sitting on a financial time bomb, ready to go off in the best way. From change jar to game changer. Let's pause for a second. Right now, in homes across America, rare coins are sitting unnoticed in coffee cans, dresser drawers, and cookie tins. Every moment they sit there is potential income lost. Here's a humorous thought. Some people pay for gym memberships they never use, while a fortune lies forgotten in their sock drawer. The cliffhanger payoff. Now you might be thinking, even if I have this coin, who's going to pay me that kind of money? That's the twist. Coin collectors, private buyers, even investment funds are actively searching for high-value coins today. And the demand is growing as physical assets become increasingly desirable in uncertain economies. One collector recently bought a near-perfect 1960 D small date for over $800,000, just to complete his set. Why? Because to the right buyer, owning that coin is like holding the Mona Lisa of pennies, from coin to cash. What you need to do next. So, here's your action plan. Heck your penny jars. Look for the 1960 date with a D mint mark. Examine the shape of the numbers. Small date varieties are key. Get the coin graded. Services like PCGS or NGC can certify its condition and confirm its authenticity. A certified coin in brilliant red uncirculated condition is your ticket to life-changing money. And if you don't know how to get it graded, don't worry, we'll cover that in our next video. Segment 3. Closing emotional trigger. Think about it. One penny could change everything. A better home. A new business. A more secure future for your family. That dream vacation you've postponed year after year, it could finally happen. All because you paid attention to something most people overlook. Final reset, quick humor bump, and hey, if your coin turns out to be worth just 1 cent, you've still got 99 more problems, but at least now you know what to do with your pennies. If you found this eye-opening, just imagine what other hidden gems you might be sitting on. Subscribe now and join our growing community of everyday people unlocking real wealth from old coins. And don't forget to turn on notifications because in the next video we're diving into a penny that sold for over $3 million.